What is up, everybody? What's going on? I'm like all tangled here, so I'm gonna wait for, just as always, gonna wait for you guys to start hopping on here and get myself situated, and then we're gonna get going. Kay, what's up? Thanks for joining. All right. I'm just getting situated here. Okay, go ahead and put in the comments how was your day? I'm just waiting for people to come in here, but want to see how you guys are doing. Colby, thanks for joining. Deanna, thanks for joining. All right. How are y'all doing? Jordan, thanks for coming on, man. All right. What's up, Jordan? Good. I love the enthusiasm. I love it. It's going great, man. What an awesome day. I mean, my day was filled with coaching clients, so I'm doing what I love, so I can't complain. How about you? Go and let me know. Amy, how you doing? Hey, Amy. I think I've got a coaching call with you soon too, hopefully. Andrew, what's going on, man? Aaron, there you are. All right, guys. We got a good crew in here, so let's get going. I don't want to waste any time. For those of you that come in on time, I want to start on time for you guys, okay? So we're going to talk about learning to astonish your clients or your patients, whatever you like to call them. I like to call them clients. It's been madness, but in a really great. Good for you, man. Good. That's amazing. Learning to astonish your clients, learning to astonish your patients. I want to really get into this one tonight. So for those of you that either way, if you have your own practice or if you still work for a company, how many of you feel truly that you are astonishing your clients on a regular basis? If you do, go ahead and put I am or yes. Give me a yes in the comments. How many of you are just truly astonishing your clients to the level that they cannot stop talking about you? Somewhat, I don't doubt it, Andrew. You're an awesome dude. But are you astonishing your clients to a level that they cannot stop talking about you? Can you now I want you to switch it. I want you to put in I am if you're doing that, because I want to find out who really is. Are you astonishing your clients to a level that they cannot stop talking about you? I am. Jordan. Nice. Good. That's good. Getting there at least. Okay, good. I'll ask one more time. Again, for those of you guys watching, who of you watching are astonishing your clients to a level that they cannot stop talking about you? Because if we can astonish our clients to a level where they cannot stop talking about us, guess what that turns into? That turns into word of mouth. And so I'm going to get into 5 different things that you can do to do that for a concierge practice. Hey guys, real quick. The sun is like blinding for me. I don't know, whatever. But I want you guys to be able to learn from this and know that if we are able to get to a level where our patients cannot stop talking about us, that is actually pushing word of mouth. And so a lot of people will talk to me and they're like, oh, I know I need to get word of mouth going, but I know that word of mouth is organic. And yes, to some extent, word of mouth is organic. But to some extent, it's not. And this is No BS Wednesday, so I call BS on the fact that word of mouth is organic. Because there are lots of different things that we can do to improve our word of mouth marketing. In my opinion, word of mouth is actually a form of marketing. And this is something that I teach in my coaching group as well. Word of mouth is a form of marketing. I actually wrote it. I have a section on this in my book, The Concierge PT Success Formula. If you haven't gotten that book, reach out to me. I'd love to be able to send you a link so you can get it on Amazon. But that book talks about ways that you can improve that word of mouth marketing for your practice. But we're going to talk about something a little bit different, How can we make our clients be so astonished by what we're doing and what we're able to provide to them that they can't stop talking about us, and therefore they can't stop referring patients to us because we're just like the greatest thing they've ever come across. And so how do we do that? It may not be as hard as you may think it is. It's funny. When I first ask people this, and I want you guys to answer this live, for the 7 of you that are on, when you think about astonishing your clients, what do you think about? Go and drop in the comment section. I'm not going to move on until I get some comments. So when you think about astonishing your clients, when you think about blowing your clients away, what do you think about it? Do you think about, with my skills, with my personality, with, wowing them? How would you wow them, Andrew? Like, how would you wow them? Give me some examples below of like how you guys have wowed patients in the past, or how you guys have astonished patients in the past. Patient experience. There we go. That's a good one. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? But Lisa, hey Lisa, what's going on? Does anybody have any other ways that they've just absolutely astonished and blew away patients? Giving wow factor info, active listening. Andrew, I think you're in my brain, but we're gonna get to some of this stuff. Okay, making them feel like they're the only patient you have all day. Boom, there you go, Aaron. Awesome. Okay, good. Going above and beyond what they expected or what they experienced before. Great. Okay, when I've asked this question before to students, to PTs, sometimes I get the answer of, I want to blow them away by doing something in person to them, like usually manually, that is absolutely going to blow their mind. And that is great. Like, I've got my own little tricks up my sleeve, and I do some of that stuff too. But that is not going to be the reason that patient is going to talk to you, to everyone that they know. That's not going to be the reason. Andrew says, understanding them, explaining to them what is going on in simple terms. That's good, yeah. Remembering tiny details about their stories. Great, Aaron. Taking care of needs outside of your session, i.e. things outside your service. Good. Listen to them. Perfect. So I'm going to give you guys perfect kind of tactical things that you can do, but I'll tell you guys what I do to kind of set the stage for astonishing them. And then there's some things that I do with follow-up that leads to them always wanting to talk about me and how great my practice is. Okay? So number one is one of you guys said, I think it was Andrew. I think Andrew Tyler said, I think you said, so you said patient experience. And so for me, that starts in the evaluation process. But okay, Belisa, I'm glad you said that. Fixing them. We're going to get into that. Your good looks. That's definitely part of it. Guys, Andrew, you have, I want to bring that up real quick. Your good looks. So when you show up to a client's house, I learned this a long time ago, and this is very simple, y'all. But show up to their house feeling and looking good. Feeling and looking good about yourself. Please don't show up feeling like you're a complete mess because you just rushed out of your house. I've been there before, don't get me wrong, but if that's how you're going to feel, man, wake up earlier before your first patient, or give yourself more time between patients. Go in, walking in, and feeling good. I'm glad you brought that up, Andrew. Okay, let's get off that tangent. Learn to astonish your clients. This is how I do it from the very, very beginning, and then I'm going to give you guys 5 tactical things that you can do, okay? First is through the evaluation process. So Andrew brought up the patient experience, the evaluation process, and then quite a few of you talked about listening. I want my patients to look at me after that evaluation process. I want them to look at me and think, this guy is the best listener that I have in my entire life, that I've ever met in my entire life. That is my 100% goal. All I want them to do is know that they were listened to and feel like they're the most important person in the room. I want you guys to write that one down. I want them to feel like they are the most important person in the room when I'm doing an evaluation. Not me. I'm not trying to show off all my extra crap that I do. That's not what's important. The important thing is the patient that is in front of me. The most important thing is the patient that is sitting in front of you. It is not you. Believe me, y'all. They're going to learn to love you. Gosh, that y'all came out really Texas. I am from Texas, so I don't know, but that was a really Texas y'all. Anyway, learn to treat them like they are the most important person in the room, because it really is not you. They don't care about all of your great certifications. They don't care about all of your great expertise. All they care about is that you're there to listen to them and their problems, and that you're there to fix their problems. So learn to be the most active listener in that room. And so I've said this before, but you should go into your evaluation process trying to make them talk more than you talk. And if you come out of evaluation process and you walk out and you're like, oh man, I think I talked like 90% of the time. Don't just give yourself a little slap on the wrist. Don't beat yourself up about it. Try and improve the next time. But become the most active listener in that room. Become the best listener in their life, just in that one evaluation. You want them to walk away and be like, oh my gosh, like we spent 45 minutes just talking about me. I should have got to know him better. Have you guys ever had conversations like that where you talk with somebody in your family and you're on the phone with them and they say, oh my gosh, I just spent the last 30 minutes talking about myself. I didn't even ask you about you. Have any of you guys ever had that type of conversation? Say yes, if you have. If you have, you actually were doing the right thing in that conversation. And so for every single one of our patients, you should come out knowing that you were the listener in that conversation and they were the talker. Okay, so in my evaluation process, it's very simple. I want to listen to them as actively as I can. And if they are not a big talker, then I am going to poke and prod until I get them to talk. Okay? If they ask, if they say something, I'm going to say, yeah, tell me more about that. If they ask me a question, I'm going to say, wow, that's a good question. Let me answer that. But while they're talking about themselves, I'm going to kind of continue to push and guide them in the right direction by just acknowledging that I'm listening. Yeah, no, that's really cool. Tell me more about that. Wow, so tell me why you want to be able to do that. Tell me more about your goals. Why do you want to do this? Why did you search out me as a physical therapist? Why are you searching out this option? Like, you can learn so much about your patient. So that literally is my evaluation process. I have things in place that will lead to a sale. But for this live video tonight, I want you guys to just get the fact that active listening. And then number 2 part of that, in that first evaluation, is being yourself. I've been thinking more consciously about that since meeting you, though. Good, Belisa. That's kind of my goal, because I know I've talked about this quite a bit, but I'm going to continue to hound on it until I can help more PTs to do the same, because it will being a good listener will absolutely change your practice. Absolutely change your practice. Now, Belisa, I'm still working on it in every area of my life as well. If you ask my wife, she probably will tell you I'm a terrible listener, okay? It's something I'm actively working on there. But with my patients, I know I have to be an active listener. So, but on top of that, when you get your turn, after that 30, 40 minutes of listening to them and pushing them in the conversation to talk about themselves, when you finally get the chance to talk about yourself, be yourself. Don't be anybody else. All right? Be yourself. Show them your personality. Don't hold back on things. Too many of us want to almost just be a yes man or a yes woman to our patients and just like give them what they want to hear. But like for me, especially as I've grown in a coach, I've learned with my clients and with my coaching clients, I can't be afraid to tell people something that they don't want to hear. Because usually the thing that they don't want to hear is the thing they need to hear. Does that make sense? The thing that they don't want to hear is the thing that they need to hear. So, it's funny, like if a patient is telling me that they've had trouble keeping up with exercise programs, keeping up with things with a physical therapist in the past, I'll say things like this. Look, Kathy, I listened to this and I know you told me you've had problems with physical therapists in the past with adhering to their programs and this and that. I just want to tell you one thing. Like, I want to help you first. After hearing what you told me, I think I can help you. I know I can help you. But one thing I want to be able to tell you is if you're going to be sticking with me and choosing me to be your physical therapist, one of my rules is I need you to adhere to this program and to absolutely be ready to go and to be able to stick yourself to a new program. Are you ready to dedicate yourself to a new plan? Are you ready to dedicate? I know you just, and I say this all the time, I'll say, I know you just met me, Kathy, but are you ready to dedicate yourself to a new plan? If that's a yes, then I want to work with you. Do you see what's going on? Like, it is confrontational a little bit, but I'm setting the standards. I'm setting myself up as an authority because they told me that is something that they've dealt with in the past. Does that make sense? I could go into more and more examples, but I'm not going to do that right now, okay? So let me know if that makes sense, and I'm gonna move on. So during that evaluation process, the two things that I'm worrying about is being an active listener, being the greatest listener in that room, and then also being myself as much as possible. Guys, for me, I can only talk about, what's up, Ryan? What's up, man? You and I kind of talked about some of this stuff on our coaching call this week. But the second part, being yourself, this is something that I talked about with another business owner this week. And I talked about how important it is to be yourself. And it kind of came up to, like, he's a very funny guy. And so for him, he's got to apply that to his practice, right? He's got to be that funny guy. For me, people do describe me, Greg Todd at SSPT described me before I came on stage as one of the most intense people he's ever met. I can be very intense. And so for me, I don't want to come across as too intense, but I want to show people that side of my personality. And I work with executives and busy professionals. They really, really, really like that side. They like that side that it's no BS. Like, okay, this guy's going to tell me how he sees it, whether I like it or not, right? And so that's how I think you have to allow your personality to come out. And this only comes with experience, y'all. Like if you're new with your practice, it comes with experience, okay? All right. So learn to astonish your clients. We talked about the evaluation process. We talked about learning to listen more. And then we talked about being you. Okay? Now I'm going to talk about 5 things that you can do to absolutely astonish your clients. So the evaluation, they can walk away being pretty wowed, and that's what we want. But how do we truly astonish them to the fact that they can't stop talking about us, and they talk about our name to everyone that they meet, right? I have patients, and they always tell me that, like, I had one over the weekend that said, "Oh yeah, we went to my daughter's birthday party at the Melting Pot, and we talked about you for like 20 minutes." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Why'd you talk about me at your daughter's birthday?" And they just said, she was just like, "Because you've had such incredible results with me. I was just sharing with my family, and they wanted to learn more about you." Like, do you guys realize how this can be a natural word of mouth process? If your clients actually become so astonished with you, they'll actually talk about you at dinner. And so here's 5 ways that I want you guys to start applying in your practice to be able to become that authority in your patients' lives, and to have that wow factor. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this person is the greatest thing that's ever come into my life." And these are simple things, okay? That's the greatest thing about this. These 5 are really simple. Number 1, after the evaluation, a day later, give them a phone call just to check in with them. All right, so these are active action steps that you can take right now. That's why I started this No BS Wednesday. I was tired of BS. Like, I just want to give people actionable stuff you can do right now, okay? But again, this is stuff you actually have to take action on. So number 1, phone call after their evaluation the day after, just following up and seeing how they're doing. "Hey, what's up? I know I saw you for an evaluation the other day, but this is Josh. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing." No, I can guarantee you no other physical therapist is doing that. None. Because they're either too lazy, or their schedule's too packed, or they don't want to. That's number 1. Let me know what you guys think as we go through these. Let me know if it's something pretty attainable, something that you feel like you can start applying in your practice, okay? Number 1 was phone call after an evaluation to just simply check up on them. Or after a visit. You could call. Let's say after it was kind of a challenging visit, they were experiencing some pain. Why don't you put on your schedule, call Charlotte tomorrow and see how she's doing? Simple as that. Just a small little note in your schedule. Call them and see how they're doing. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this is one that I used a ton. You guys know how much I like motivation. I wear all these motivational shirts. What is this one? Dream big, live bigger. I love motivational stuff, okay? So for me, this is a big part of my practice. Number two is just a random text of encouragement. So if I'm seeing patients if I'm seeing a specific patient on Monday and Wednesday, I usually have something that I want them to be doing on Fridays, because I never see patients more than twice a week. And so if I'm seeing a person on Monday and Wednesday, I'll usually have something that I want them to do on Friday. And so there'll be times where on Friday morning, I'll send out a text and I'll just say, hey, what's up, Kathy? Just wanted to let you know today's your walking day. Get after it. I'm excited for you to continue to make progress. I don't know. I just make stuff up as I go. It's not like a terrible burden to me, because it's just kind of my personality anyway. So I just send out a quick text and boom, it's done. But number one and number two, this is stuff that they're not expecting. Like, your clients love to hear from you when it is not expected. Please write that one down. Your clients love to hear from you when it is not expected. I promise you. Do not feel like you are bugging them. Your clients love to hear from you when it's not expected. So that random text of encouragement throughout the week, it takes us 2 seconds and it is so simple. If you have a concierge practice, like right now I have about 14 active clients on my caseload. Is it really that hard for me to keep up with 14 clients and just send them a quick text? Now, I'm not good at that all the time. I know that there's about 2 or 3 that I kind of have to stay on because they're not very good at motivating themselves. So I just make sure to stay on those 2 or 3 people on a regular basis. Okay? Number 3. This one takes a little bit more time. Yes, Andrew, exactly. My dentist called me after my filling one time, and I was so impressed and surprised. Exactly, Andrew, exactly. Like, not enough people are doing this to where when it happens, you're so shocked. I went in, you guys can appreciate this one too. I went into a new supplement shop, which I don't buy that many supplements, but this was like 6 months ago, and I was looking for a new pre-workout. And I walk in, and I find one, and I buy it, and the guy at the front was like super personable. We got into a conversation for honestly about 15 minutes about business. He found out that I have a business, he has a business, and it was just like we just kind of hit it off, right? He asked me for all of my information, all of that, so that he could sign me up for an account. And I received a handwritten letter from that supplement place about 3 days later. And it said, Josh, thank you so much for coming into our new shop. It was so great to meet you. I look forward to seeing you again in our shop, or something like that. What? So that's number 3. A written card to a patient. A written card to your patient. I challenge every single one of you watching, if you have current patients in your practice, in your concierge practice, you should, if you have a concierge practice, you should probably know their address. So it makes it really easy. I would challenge every single one of you that actually has a concierge practice to go send out one written card to a random client that you've never done that to before, and just send it out to them. These small little things are what are going to absolutely wow them. It is not your hands-on expertise. It is not your skills. It is not your certifications. It is the way that you treat your clients. If you treat your clients right, they are going to rave about you. I promise you that. All right? So number 3 is a written card. Again, this one gets hard to do over and over again because this does take time. You got to go to the post office. You got to put a stamp on it, blah, blah, blah. But what if you could just do that once a month? What, really? Like, would that really be that much of an expense? Would that really be that challenging to you? I met a guy once, and I knew that he would be a good fit in my practice. I met him for an evaluation, And he talked to me. He was a younger guy. And he said, Josh, I'm going to be going out of town. Can I reconvene with you in 2 months or so? This was after the initial evaluation. And I said, sure, absolutely. I don't have a problem with that. What did I do? I knew that patients' enthusiasm, especially for physical therapy, wanes over time. So I was already at their house. I jotted down their address right outside of their house. I drove home that day. I wrote up a card, and about a week later, I sent them off a card in the mail. I knew that they were going away to like Europe for like 2 months, so that's fine. They got that card, and I got a call about 3 months later, and he said, by the way, I just want to tell you, I was so impressed that I got a card in the mail. So again, guys, this is not crap that I'm just telling you to do. This is actually stuff that I do in my practice. I'm not just saying, hey, do this because it sounds like a good idea. It's actually stuff that I've done, right? So it's actually stuff that I've seen that works. And that patient was so astonished by that I actually saw that guy for about 10 weeks afterwards. And we worked with each other on a twice-a-week basis. So at the time, I was charging $125 a visit, and that turned into 20 visits. You guys can do the math. Was sending that card worth it? Was sending that card worth, I don't know, a profit of about $3,000 and to help a really cool guy? I'd say so. All right, that's number 3. Number 4, this is one that a lot of clients have started to do with me because I did it with them in the beginning. I don't do this as much anymore, but I've got a lot of clients that do it with me, and it's funny, it's because I did it with them in the beginning. And it's send an email to them with an article that they would find interesting. Send an email to them with an article that they would find interesting. So I get these all the time. I've got one guy that constantly is just going back and forth with me, and he just sends me stupid stuff like, funny videos on YouTube and stuff like that. He'll email them to me. It's just cool. It's just like, again, guys, this is relationship building, just like you would act with a friend, right? We send our friends goofy videos and goofy GIFs and stuff like that all the time. GIFs as in GIF. We send that kind of stuff all the time. Why not be like that with our clients? Like, whoever says that there needs to be this specific client-practitioner relationship, that's bullshit. Like, the closer you can get with your patients, the more profitable you're going to have of a business. Promise you that. You can write that one down too. The more of a relationship you have with your patients, the closer you are with your patients, the more profitable of a business you're going to have. Okay? Number 5. This is probably the easiest one to do. Stay late and talk with a patient. Stay late and talk with a patient. We all have those patients that like to talk. Okay, if they like to talk, stay late and talk with them. We all have those patients where we're like, we've got all our stuff, I've got my bag on, I've got my table, and I'm like trying to inch out of the door. Who cares? Stay late and talk with them. Build that into your schedule. Stay late and talk with them. Yeah, I've stayed 30 minutes after a visit. I've stayed 45 minutes after a visit, unless I have to get to my next one. Stay late and talk with the client. You don't have to do this every visit. But again, what if you did this just every once in a while? What if you just did this a few times with the client? Wouldn't that really start to make a true impression on them? Wouldn't they really start to say like, wow, he doesn't really care about the time, he just cares about me. And so I think it was Aaron Berger that said, make them feel like they are the only client on your schedule. This is something that I talk about in this book again. The Concierge PT Success Formula. Make them feel like they are the only patient on your schedule that day. You don't have to be worried about them thinking that, oh my gosh, well, I don't think he's very busy, he must not be very good. They're not going to think that. Make them feel like they're the only person on your schedule that day. Because, one of you said being present earlier, because you should be fully present in front of them anyway. Right? You should be fully present in front of them. I learned from a chiropractor. Yes, I'm going to say that again. I learned from a chiropractor lots of the skills that I have today. And lots of the skills that I learned are not specific manual skills. But one of the skills that this chiropractor taught me, he is actually, well, I'm not going to say who he is because then you guys will be able to find out who he is. And I don't like that name drop in business. But he taught me something really, really valuable. And so I try and do this before I walk into clients' homes. But he taught me that before he would walk in, gosh, that's a big blare. I'll do it with this hand. Before he would walk into a client's room in his chiropractic practice, he'd put the hand on the door, and he would check in with himself and make sure he was ready to be fully present. For me, I walk in there and I try and be fully present. The only thing that ever gets in the way of that is my wife is kind of like a stay-at-home mom now, and she texts me pretty much all day. And so, but it's funny, like lots of my clients, if my wife is calling or texting me, they're like, Josh, please take it. It's your wife. You've got to talk to her. And so it's really funny. But anyway, besides that, you need to check in with yourself before every single patient and make sure that you're ready to become fully present. You should be ready to become fully present in the conversation with them. Okay? I know that some patients can talk your ear off, but who cares? Is it really gonna mess with your schedule? Is it really gonna mess with your day that much if you spend an extra 15 minutes with them? All right, so let's go over those 5 things real quick. Number 1, phone call after the evaluation or visit to check in with them. Number 2, a random text of encouragement. Number 3, a written card. Anytime that you're seeing them, a written card. I like to do specific things like during Christmas and things like that, of course. Number 4, send an email to them with an article they would find interesting. Number 5, stay late and talk with them. Guys, I not too long ago, I stayed late at a CEO's house, and we just practiced chipping in his backyard. Because, it is pretty cool. He's got his own, putting green back there in his backyard. So we just practiced chipping. Because I told him, I was like, dude, I'm a terrible golfer, but hands down, my short game is horrendous. And he was like, dude, let's just go back in the backyard and let me teach you a few things. And he taught me a few things. I know that's not a normal experience with some of our clients, but don't be afraid to stay late and spend that extra time with them to build that relationship. Okay? That's the 5 things. Honestly, I'm gonna end with this, and then you guys can ask me some questions. It's only 6:30 my time. I got a podcast with Mr. David Bailiff, the captain, in 30 minutes, so we're good. But I can promise you guys this: if you can learn to establish, I'm sorry, not establish. If you can learn to astonish your clients to the point that they cannot stop talking about you, you will have a thriving practice just from that. Learn to astonish your clients to the point that they can't stop talking about you, and that right there will create a thriving practice. Not Facebook ads. Let's get real, y'all. Seriously, not Facebook ads, not Google ads, not SEO, not website capability, all that stuff is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's bad stuff, but let's get real. Every single business is built off of relationships. Every single one. Every single one in the history of businesses is built off relationships. So why in the living hell would that not be the foundation of your business? I'm sorry, I'm starting to get a little bit fired up, and I know we're already 30 minutes into this thing, but I get too many questions of, I'm new in my practice, I know I need to be doing Facebook ads. I'm new in my practice, I know I need to be working on SEO. I'm new in my practice, I know I need to optimize my website. I'm new in my practice, I know I need to have fancy business cards. I'm new in my practice, I know I need this. Why is it never establishing relationships? Is that because it's hard and it looks like the thing that takes the most time? I think so. But if you can create the base for a business in that way, you will have a thriving practice that will grow for as long as you continue to cultivate it. All right? But a Facebook ad is only going to last as long as you're going to do the Facebook ad. And then once you turn it off, then you got to put more money into it to continue to get the results that you want. But a built relationship is going to continue to serve you over and over and over again. And I hope I'm not screaming into this mic, but good gosh, guys, this gets me so fired up and so almost to a point of getting pissed off that I can't even tell you guys. Like my business and every single other concierge physical therapist that I know that has a successful business, I don't think I need to name any names. You guys know who I'm talking about. Hint, hint, I'm going on a podcast with him in 30 minutes. Like, it's built off relationships. Right? Like, so I am not, please don't get this misconstrued. Please don't get this twisted in any way right now. I am not saying that we shouldn't be doing those things. But those other things, such as Facebook ads, such as websites, such as SEO, those are part of our funnel to lead into our business. Those are part of our funnel, okay? They are not the funnel. They are not the main part of the funnel. The main part of your funnel of your business needs to be relationships. And I'm going to continue to scream it from the rooftops until more people listen to me, okay? Because if I've been able to build a fully functioning practice that is basically working at a high 6 figures per year, then I know that every single one of you guys can do the same if you take the relationship game very, 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 very seriously. And so how do you do that? We'll probably talk about that in another No BS Wednesday. That's for another day. But it's learning to communicate, and it's learning to show patients that you care. All right? All my fire is gone. I'm sorry, guys. I really, really got heated up. But any questions? What time we got? Oh, it's only 6:37. Any questions? I'm going to do a live on that on my personal page as well, because I think that's something that more people need to hear in regards to when we're just starting a business. It's just I think it's just the world that we live in. It's just like, oh, we need to be doing this fancy stuff first, when all you really need to do is you could talk to your grandpa who had success in business, and he could probably tell you that relationships are the start of any business. And it's funny, like, I've learned a lot of this information because I am blessed to be able to work with people like CEOs and people like executives, right? I've been blessed to be able to have those relationships and talk with those people because I have learned from them that this is the game. This is the game. You know, can I tell you guys one more thing? I was doing a visit with one of my favorite guys, favorite clients ever, and he's a CEO of an oil and gas company and CEO of multiple different companies. He started so many damn companies, I can't even keep up. And you know, he's in his early 60s, and he's getting older. You know, he's maybe not in the best shape, and that's why he's seeing me. But just phenomenal guy, and he's always doing something like to build relationships. And so I go in for the visit. I'm like, hey, how was your weekend? And once again, he tells me, he was like, oh yeah, I was at basically a business mastermind retreat over the weekend. I was like, wow, really? Okay, well, you know, tell me more about that. And you know, it was basically a retreat that some business owners had organized, where it was 82 business owners. They went to like this ranch in Montana and got together and just continued to build their relationships and build their networks together. That was the whole point of the event. And I was just, you know, it really got me thinking. I was like, the CEO of multiple companies, the most successful person that I've ever known in my entire life. You know, I look up to this guy completely, and I'm his PT. And he's, you know, almost at Medicare age, and he's still going on business retreats to build his relationships and build his network. And we got to talking about it, and he was like, Josh, it's just so important. You know, he named off some pretty crazy people that he got to meet that weekend. I'm not going to say their names. But it's like, yeah, I got to build a relationship with that NFL QB. You know, I got to build a relationship with this guy and this guy. Relationships is the game. And he knows that. And that's why he's built multiple successful $1 million businesses. Right? It's an ongoing process, exactly. So let me see what you guys are saying. Foundation and future success, always relationships. Facebook ads, etc., are reach beyond your individual ability to grow. Supplemental, not primary. Yes, exactly. Supplemental, not primary. I like that. Yeah, he's only 60. That I know that's young. I know. But this guy's been doing it since his 20s. So when you really think about it like that, you know, he's been building relationships in his businesses for the last 40 years. And to me, it's just crazy to think about that. You know, it's still an important piece to what he does to grow his businesses. And so that's all I meant by that. So I've been talking to some people in other states that are part of my new avatar group to find out more information about what this avatar group wants. So it sounds like sending them a handwritten note is a great idea. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Or a phone call. It's as personable as possible, Darren. Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. All right, was that helpful for everybody tonight? Can you guys give me a yes? Was that helpful for all 10 of you on there tonight? And it is, well, actually, while the few of you that are on, let's go and end like this. Tell me within those 5 things, the one that you're going to put into play in the next week. Tell me the one out of those 5 that you're going to put into play in the next week. What do you think? Good, Kimberly. Awesome, Andrew. Darren, good. Call people, Andrew. Perfect. There you go. Aaron, there you are, man. Thank you guys for always watching. I love seeing you guys on here. I love teaching this stuff. Obviously, it gets me really fired up, but can you recap the 5? Yeah, Belisa, I'll recap. Phone call after an evaluation or visit to check in with them, number 1. Number 2, a random text of encouragement. Number 3, a written card. Number 4, send an email to them with an article they would find interesting. And number 5, stay late and talk with them. Stay late after your visit and talk with them. All right, good job. I see all these rolling in. Follow-up call, sending a car, calling them, call, follow-up call. I came on late. Well, Jason, I just recapped it for Belisa, so let me know. All right, y'all. Have a good night. I'm going to go get on a podcast with David Bailiff. See you guys.